What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWare 3 Raw TV. Want to go through a couple things tonight. This is going to be a video more about, it's not going to be about training per se. It's not going to be about fitness goals per se, but it's going to be able to be applied to all that stuff. So it's not directly related to it, but it's kind of indirectly related to it. And we're going to start at the beginning here. And this is basically a video about free thinking and how it affected me, how I had to learn to break the chains of what people think and how it controlled me over time, which actually really held me back in life. And that means with the stuff I'm doing right now, okay? So two things kind of spawned this video. Number one, I watched this Jimmy Kimmel thing the other night with Kanye West. Now, many people think he's fucking batshit crazy. I do not. I think that he does have bipolar, which makes him think differently than other people. And he may say things that people don't like and they don't agree with, but he's just doing his fucking thing. He's being himself. He's doing the same thing that Rich Piana did and that Jay Cutler does. Okay? Now, I was with Jay this weekend, so I went to the Jay Cutler Classic in Richmond, Virginia. The Jay Cutler Classic in Richmond, Virginia. And I actually judged that show. I'm an NPC judge. I judged the show. And Jay and I have been friends for a very long time, like over 20 years. And I got there. I went, out to train with him late on Friday night. We did delts. And it's cool because we have these dinners where it's just him and I, or training, and we get to talk about whatever the fuck we want. No one else is around, so we don't dictate whatever the fuck we want to talk about. We can say what we want, don't have to pull any punches. Fuck it, right? And the one thing I noticed that Jay, much like Kanye, much like Rich Piana, and anybody who's successful, Gary Vee, another person, Conor McGregor, have a huge self-belief, okay? They have a belief in themselves, and I don't know if it's always been that way. They were bred that way, they were born that way. They were taught that as kids. I don't know where it comes from, but I noticed they all have this same way of thinking. And myself, I did not have that naturally whatsoever. But here's kind of how it fits for me. So we are born and we grow up and we're taught from our parents. We're taught right from wrong. We're basically taught how to think in school. We're taught how to think by our parents. We are taught to follow the collective conscious, which is what's going on around us, our friends, our family. We think alike. We kind of try to dress like other people and things like that. And free thought is not really, I think, taught or expressed, or people don't guide people into free thought as a kid. And I think that in general, like, it's not rewarded to be a free thinker, to be an individual, right? If you're an individual, you're an outcast in school, you get made fun of. If you're an individual, you're doing your own thing, your parents are like, why can't you just be normal like other kids, right? They say stuff like that. And it's kind of like, nowadays, I think that people in general are trying to be themselves, but being themselves is like other people, right? So, like, if someone decides that everybody else is a jock in their class, they want to be like emo. That one person is a free thinker and does it. After they do it, there's another kid that wants to be emo. And then another one that wants to be emo. Like, they decide, well, I don't fit in with the jocks. I fit in more with that. And rather than being themselves and say, well, I'm not really like emo either. I'm like kind of like in between emo and a jock. But I can only fit into one of these two. I can't do my own thing like those people are. They join one group or the other. And that's kind of the way my life went for a long time. I was like, you have to, go to college. You have to get a degree. You have to get married by this age. You have to do this, do this, do this. And the way that I guess I want to say trained to think or taught to think was, you grow up in Warren, Rhode Island, and it's the collective conscious in Rhode Island is all the same. Like, you grow up, you don't move very far from your parents. You do the best you can. It's usually a manual labor job that doesn't pay well. Granted, some people do really well, other people don't. But it's the same rule of thinking. You don't really move far from your parents. You don't move far from your family. They do a lot of the same things every weekend. They hit up the same bars, very traditional. Like, it's like, if I go back there right now, it's just like I was back there 20 years ago. Like, not much has changed. And there are some people that get out of there, right? But there's not many. There's a few people that get out of that situation. And the only way you get out of it is breaking that thinking, right? Breaking that train of thought, breaking that training you've been given to be what everybody else is and just become another face in the crowd, like another person who lives there, grows up, has kids. You die, the kids move into your house. They have kids. They have, like, some of my school teachers, my mom had them as teachers. Like that, it basically recycles itself, and that's kind of where it's at. And I'm not really sure where it happened, but I always knew I didn't really like to fit in. Like, I was in bands and a rock head and stuff. I was a skateboarder that wasn't popular at the time. And then when I was into like playing in bands and stuff, like, I still liked athletics. So I still played football and wrestled and still played in a band here, like, and then became a bodybuilder. Like, there was all these things that made me me, but you're trying to fit in these different groups, and I didn't really fit in a group. Like, I didn't fit in with the jocks. I didn't really fit in with the metalheads. I didn't really fit in with the skate rats. I didn't fit in with, I really didn't fit in. Like, me and my friend Henry were just kind of our own things, and we had other friends, like my cousin Trisha and other friends who just did our own thing, and I realized we had a group of individuals rather than a group of followers. Like, in high school, we actually were a group of individuals. Each one of us was so individual. Like, we had similar interests here and there, but completely different interests. And our interests are what really brought us together. What brought us together was the fact that we were just good people, and we just didn't want to do harm to other people. Like, that's pretty much what brought us together. So moving forward, it was like, how do you break that train of thought? Because then you graduate high school, and it's like, well, you got to get a job. You need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to then fall in line and become one of the assembly line, right? And I'm not really sure where it changed. I'm not sure where I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and I don't really fucking care. And then I struggled with, those other things. Like, plain and simple, it was, you're not going to make it as a trainer. Why? Because there's too many trainers out there, right? And I struggled, and I struggled, and I struggled, and I finally said, you know what? I'm going to do this my way. I'm not doing this the way my certification taught me. I'm going to do my own style of training that I have seen work. And all of a sudden, my training business started to go like this, right? Because I decided to do it my way. What I discovered, what I created, my creation was what was working better than what the certifications had taught us. So I'm getting out of breaking the chains and thinking like the collective that you have to have the certification and do what they say to do. Did my own thing. Started to take off like crazy, right? And then I started doing these documentaries on YouTube, right? Like these cool little things and editing and stuff because I had seen Raising the Bar, right? So I was trying to recreate what I saw in Raising the Bar, and nobody paid attention. Nobody gave a fuck. I made one video about Ian McCarthy and Dave Pulcinella, who was in Raising the Bar, and everybody started paying attention. That one video. Because I just said what I wanted to say. I said it my way. I wasn't politically correct. I didn't fucking do double takes. I didn't do anything except just speak my fucking mind and do what I wanted to do. And people responded. Like, I broke that chain of that collar around my neck, that chain holding me back. I broke that, and that started to grow. The social media started to grow, right? And then when I signed with, 5% stuff, they were like, well, that's, I don't know why you're signing with 5%. Like, that company's never going to go anywhere. And I was like, you know what? That's more my personality, though, right? So I get with the company, and then I realized, I want to be more of an individual. I don't want to be part of a group. 5% was a big group, and it was amazing. It was great to have these like-minded people and these friends and have Rich Piana, teaching you. But then you look at Rich and say, we're all following Rich. We're all trying to be like Rich. Wait a minute. Like, this is not being original. We're all like little takeoffs of Rich. That's not about what it's about. That's why Rich is so successful, because he's not a takeoff of anything. He's himself. And I went to Rich and said, here's the deal. I have the offer to be the front of a company, the face of a company, and they're going to build the company around me and my personality. It's going to be about me and not me being what everybody else is. And Rich was like, that's fucking amazing. Roll with it, right? And then I do the Primeval thing. Then Primeval builds into this big, giant fucking juggernaut of a company. And as Primeval's building, I'm evolving into a different type of person. I'm evolving to a new person, right? So now it's like, well, that thing just I don't really fit with that thing anymore, right? I want to do my own thing. I want to create something else that I can mold and shape and create. And I have to take that chance, but I have to do my own thing. And people are like, oh, here we go, Gifd Labs, right? Your products are never going to sell. What you're trying to do with proprietary blends, what you're trying to do by putting all these strange things in products that nobody's ever heard of, it's never going to work, right? That's what everybody was saying, but I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do my own fucking thing. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I will explain. I will educate. I will take the time. I will work. I will grind. I will fucking not sleep. I will do this because I feel so strongly about it. And that's what happened, right? So now here we are with the Gifd Labs thing, and I'm sitting here going, that's the key. The key to success, and I hate, I'm not an entrepreneur, and I'll never fucking call myself an entrepreneur. I fucking hate that word because there's so many people that think it's cool. Like, it's not cool to be an entrepreneur. It's not cool to own your business. It's fucking hard work. It's dedication. It's more bullshit than you've ever put up with in your entire fucking life, and everything revolves around you. If you fuck up, you fail. You go broke. You lose your money. You lose your fucking business. You lose your family. It's on you, right? But that is something that I think people don't have enough courage to do. They don't believe enough in themselves. But you can't believe enough in yourself and know who you even are until you break the chains of society and the collective conscious to do your own fucking thing and be your own person. Like Kai Green, Jake Cutler. I'm going to use the bodybuilding people because we're in the fitness industry, so it's easy to fucking understand. Rich Piana, Big Ramy, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It doesn't matter. We can keep going on, but each one of those people do their own thing. None of them are following the crowd. every morning they get up and they're an individual and they say, you know, like, Kai, I have an idea, I have a thought, I have just a concept in my head, and you go out and make it happen. And what happens? People respond to that. Why? Because it's so amazing that someone came up with something so original that you're interested in it. It's interesting. That person now becomes interesting. Gary Vee was the first one to go out there and fucking now make a wine company and ship it all over the U.S. Do the nationwide shipping with a wine company. Everybody thought that was fucking nuts. Now you can buy fucking anything you want online, right? It's not just wine anymore. We can order fucking toilet paper, baseball hats, books. You can order whatever the fuck you want, have it delivered to your door in a day, right? But it takes that first person to have that vision, that insight, that different way of thinking to say, look, here's the deal. This is what I think. I am passionate about it. I believe in it 100%. I'm going to fucking do it no matter what anybody says. And that was like a big take home this week with Jay. The way he runs his businesses, the way he comes up with his products, his clothing line, the way he thinks, the way that everything revolves around Jay is just his own original ideas, his personal own ideas, and not all of them succeed, right? But they're interesting. They get your attention because they're interesting, because you know it's a branch off, an offshoot, an extension of him. And that's where we're at today. I realized, well, you know what? That is basically what I did, because sometimes you just work so hard and you put your head down and you push forward. Christian Guzman's another one. You push so hard and move forward that you don't even realize how you did it or why it worked or how it's even working. You don't even know that. You don't even realize that, because it's just happening in the now, right? And when you look back at it, that's how you realize it. And I'm like, that's why. The only success that I've had is by only being me. Not trying to be an IFBB pro like the other fucking bodybuilders. Not trying to be like Rich Piana. Not trying to work for a company that comes up with their own ideas and concepts that are not mine. It's only about being myself. That is the whole key. The Rock, another one, right? When they were packaging him as Rocky Maivia, when they were, trying to make him this character, didn't work, right? Even when he started doing movies, he was The Rock still. When he became Dwayne Johnson and just himself, everybody started responding because he's just himself. It's all interesting because I think each one of us wants to relate to everybody else. They want to relate to the person they're watching. They relate to the person next to them. They want to know that they're the same. They want to know that they're not different, that they have the same thoughts, the same fears. They fail, they succeed. They want to know that they are normal. Because let's face facts, nobody wants to be fucking weird, right? They want to be above average. They want to be better than normal. But deep down, everybody wants to know that they're at least the status quo minimum. Right? And if they can figure out that they're at least that status quo, they're the minimum, they now know, well, I can fucking push that. It's like the first step towards becoming something bigger is knowing that you're at least good enough. And I think that's the problem. A lot of people don't think they're good enough. I know I didn't. Absolutely, right? A heroin addict. Like, by all means, I should not be here making this video talking about the success. Like, we literally dropped BMR 4. It's been out of stock for over a month. 5 weeks it was out of stock. We got it yesterday. In less than 24 hours, we sold over 70% of the stock. In less than 24 hours. Before, it was 2 weeks and we sold out the stock. There are larger companies not doing those numbers right now. We're a startup company out of my goddamn garage. Why is BMR4 so successful? Because it's original. No one has ever done it before. It caught a lot of flack in the beginning because people didn't understand it and they tried to fight against it, but it was an original concept that actually works. And if you make the best shit, like Gary Vee says, you will win. None of that would have happened if I didn't break the chains of thinking for myself. None of that would have happened if I just followed the collective conscious and did just the status quo, the minimum. None of that would have happened. So it took this, I don't know, this epiphany, it took some balls. I don't know what it took. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I do know that it's an evolution. Like, it doesn't happen right away. You start to begin to become more confident. You start to become more knowledgeable in the things that you enjoy and you love and that you want to become or create. You start to build up that momentum. And once that momentum, it's like a snowball. Once that momentum starts going, it can't be stopped. It might slow down here and there, but it can't be stopped. That snowball is going down that fucking hill and it is going to run into that fucking car and destroy it at the bottom. That's just how it goes, right? A thing in motion, or energy in motion tends to stay in motion, right? That's the whole fucking concept, right? But it takes that first step of not just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. That's the hardest part. My friend Chris Cavallini is exactly the same way. He had a crazy upbringing and had all this trauma in his life and stuff, and this dramatic stuff happened to him. He's the owner of Nutrition Solutions right now. He's got the Ferrari. He's got the H1 Alpha. He flies around a private jet. He was flat fucking broke before, And I mean, this guy is like a total success story because he just was not going to follow the crowd. He wasn't going to be not good enough. He wasn't going to be just the status quo. Every morning he gets up and he tries to be something more than he was the day before. And I think that's the whole key. Jay Cutler, Rich Piana, Chris Cavallini, Christian Guzman, fucking myself. And I'm not saying I'm like these people, but I'm saying that the mind is, the frame of mind is the same. You get up in the morning and you cannot wait to try to be better today than you were before. If you're complacent, if you're sitting back and you don't care about what happens today, and you just get up and you go and punch in at your job and you're just going through the motions, no, it's not going to happen. But it can happen. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. You can absolutely do it if I do it. There's no fucking question about it. If I can do it, you can absolutely do it. But here's the thing. Once you realize how much personal power you actually have over yourself, your life, the universe, you actually understand that you can literally create a new life right now. As soon as you fucking have the concept, you can create it. And it's going to take work. It's going to take some failures. It's going to take possibly starving, going broke. It's going to take all these things. But how do you think everybody who succeeded got there? By making that first transitional thought. That's how it happened. So I know this is kind of a deep video, and I know it's going to be lost on a lot of people, and people will make fun of it, and trolls will fucking trash it and whatever, but I'm trying to give to you guys what I have learned that's actually working. Like, it's not bullshit. It's not this, come pay me for a seminar so I can talk about this shit. This is fucking free, guys. You're getting this for 100% fucking free. And if you can get anything out of this and take it and fucking use it, guess what? Doors are going to fucking open up for you. Opportunities are going to happen. You're going to fucking have a better life than you ever thought was going to happen when you start applying it. And it's fucking free. You have nothing to lose. Just put the thought in your head. Start thinking. Start thinking about how to move forward, how to get up tomorrow, how to change your life, how to do whatever the fuck it is. And I'll tell you, my wife and Aaron and I talk about it all the time. Like, it was scary as fuck to do GIFD labs. You know what I mean? To literally let go of that consistent paycheck from Primeval and say, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to invest all of my own money. We're going to fucking roll with it. I'm going to do everything myself. Like, this is on me. This is a huge undertaking, but I can do it. Like, I know there's going to be some pushback. I know there's going to be fucking haters. I know there's going to be people that try to stop me because they don't want to see me succeed. Fuck them. Like, that's basically the attitude that I had. And, you know, today, like, or this week, I had quite a few people contact me and people that I talked to at the show this weekend and stuff. And you just start to realize, like, you just keep your head down, you keep pushing and you move forward. And when you fail, like, it hurts, you know, it stings. It hurts if you fail. If something doesn't work out or something's not working out, you have to figure out why. And all these things fucking come up. But in the bottom line is when you have these people coming up to you and going, listen, man, you did it, so I'm going to fucking try. You did it, so I'm going to do it. Like, I wanted to do this and I didn't think it could be done. And I'm watching you and you came back from a fucking worse position than I was in and you did it. Fuck, I'm so excited. Or, you know, what's even better is somebody's already had success with something because they saw you do it and they applied it already without you even saying anything. That's fucking awesome. So hopefully this is actually a long video. So hopefully you guys are still with it now. And if you are, by all means, comment below with things that have helped you, that have worked for you. Help out the people in the comment section. You know what I mean? If we can change the collective conscious from negative and controlling and being average in the status quo, and you can change that and more people start to go out on their own and create new lives. And it doesn't mean a business or something, but create a new life for themselves somewhere that gives them a more fulfilling life. Why the fuck not? I'm Biostery and I approve this message, and we're out.